Spoilers ahead, we're gonna talk about that thing at the end of Shazam. The mid-credits scene. Dr. Sivana is in prison for murdering several people and wreaking havoc with the Eye of Sin, an artifact that gave him powers and control over the 7 deadly sins. Sivana desperately tries to gain access to the Rock of Eternity by writing sequences of ancient letters on the cell walls, but he is unable to do so. A robot-sounding voice chastises Sivana from the other end of his cell. A caterpillar-like creature wearing a metal device emerges from the shadows, itself having been imprisoned at the Rock of Eternity years before Sivana unleashed the sins back into the world. Having witnessed the Doctor's evil ambitions to gain the power of the wizard, he proposes that the two work together to conquer the 7 realms. Very evil. The end credit scene. Shazam and Freddy are back in the foster home, continuing to test what the power of the wizard can do. Billy tries to talk to a pet goldfish, to mixed results. Billy questions Freddy how commanding sea life would be beneficial to them, but the superhero dismisses it as a silly power. Those who live in glass houses, Mr. Batson? Explaining the mid-credits scene. I know this is weird, but you just sat through Shazam, so this sort of thing is par for the course. The caterpillar-like creature is actually a being called Mr. Mind, a hyper-intelligent alien worm that has a fascination with magic and conquering the world. He normally speaks through a device that gives him a robotic-sounding voice. He is one of the more cartoony aspects of the original Captain Marvel comics published in the 1940s, sometimes looking like a stereotypical, literal bookworm, while more modern depictions have him more alien or caterpillar-like, complete with metamorphically exotic powers, such as turning into a kaiju-esque monster. He's usually associated as being the brains behind the supervillain team called the Monster Society of Evil, notable in the 1940s Shazam stories for being made up of villains previously fought by the main character, and for being one of the earliest and longest multi-issue arcs in superhero comics at that time. If the film does well, this story thread might be a big component in a possible sequel, which gets a massive yes from me. Didn't expect a worm to Nick Fury the end of a movie, but there you go. Explaining the end credits scene. Shazam and fam are still testing out what their powers can do? This one's more of a gag scene than anything, but it's nice to see that the kids are balancing their superhero and foster home lives in a healthy way.